Hey guys, it's the Junkie. I'm back. This here is a contest video for Manny NYC. His 50 subs. I think he's probably up to 60 now, if I'm not mistaken. But really good guy from New York. Love his accent. Um, Anyways, he's got a contest going, and he's a really great guy. He's got like 50 plus. I think he may be up to 60 now. But if you guys haven't checked out his channel, go check him out. He's got some great videos. He does. He's got some great hauls. He's got a couple con videos up where he's got some really good books, and it's made me want to start getting some Silver Age DC now when I go to my con. Hopefully, I can get some good deals like he did. But him and Jimmy C, they both have video contests up, and I'm going to make 2 videos today for each one. But this one here is for Manny NYC. Great guy. Go check him out. He asked 3 questions. And as you can see on the TV behind me, this is one of the questions. But the first one is, what is your favorite key book? I got my little trusty notebook here with all the questions in it. Favorite key book worth the most in your collection? I would have to say, you guys have seen this before in other videos that I have, but this is probably my most expensive and valued book, is Giant Size X-Men #1. Of course, it's the first appearance of most of the modern team, what they call the modern age team. I love this book, man. This book for me, this and Hulk 181 are the 2 key books that, if I stopped collecting and those are the only 2 books that I got, I would be happy with. But I'm really happy to have this book. I made a risk. I tried to buy one at the last Comic Con I had. A guy was selling one. Here's a little story. He had one. It was probably fair condition, and me and my wife happened to be at a vendor, and I was looking through some long boxes or whatever. And the guy walked up, and he had them in a Walmart bag, a stack of comics in a Walmart bag, and he pulled them out. And I don't know if the guy was just fibbing or trying to pull a scam or whatever, but he claimed he didn't know what he had. And not this particular book, but a Giant Size X-Men #1 was in that bag. And it wasn't in a bag and board, it was just a raw, straight out, no protection at all. And the guy, the vendor guy looked at it, he goes, "Oh, I'll give you $75 for it." And I'm thinking to myself, holy shit. And I just look at my wife, and she knew what the cover looked like because I've showed her the cover before, and she saw that book, and she kind of like kneed me a little bit in the back of my leg, and I looked at her and I'm like, oh man, if this guy buys it for $75, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. But anyways, the seller was like, no, let me, the guy at the way offered me, $50 or something. I don't know, it was a crazy low number, and the guy's like, oh, that's way too low. He goes, in this condition, I'll give you 75. It's probably worth like 110, but I got to make a little bit of money on it. And the guy walked away. He said, well, I'll get back with you. Let me shop it around a little bit. So when the guy walked away from the vendor, I immediately stepped back and I pulled the guy aside. I'm like, hey, look, I will give you $300 cash money for that book right now. And I pulled out 3 $100 bills right and showed him right in his face. And, he was asking me like what the big deal about the book was. And I explained to him about first appearance of this team, his second appearance by Wolverine, blah, blah, blah. And he gave me his number, and he said, call him in a couple hours, and if he didn't get a better offer, then he'd sell it to me. I never pulled the trigger. I never called the guy back. I wish I would have. But I ended up getting this one off. The guy had it on eBay. I ended up buying it off eBay for a cheaper price, so I'm really happy to get it. The next major key book I'm going to have, and I will have it this year, is Hulk 181. Okay, now I'm starting to ramble, but this is my most valued key book. I have other books that I love, but that's my key book. Thoughts on the Daredevil TV show? I love it. I'm on episode number 6. I'm off for the next 4 days, so I will finish this series off this weekend. And so far, it is phenomenal. I have some Daredevil books, but I never really got into Daredevil. But as you can see, I'm wearing my Punisher shirt. It's kind of like, Punisher Daredevil. But this show is phenomenal. The girl in it, I forget her name, but she was in True Blood. So that's where I know her from, the secretary. But this show is great. It's gritty. All the actors are great. The acting in it is phenomenal. The action in it is great. It's gritty. It's dark. Um, now I want to go. Excuse me, to eat some lunch. Now I want to go pick up some Daredevil books. So now I'm on eBay, man, looking for Daredevil lots. So yeah, this show is really good. It's got me into wanting to collect some Daredevil comics. So yeah, there we go. And number 3, what do you do for a living, and a little bit about yourself? Okay, I can't tell you the company name, but I work for a major grocery company in the southeast, and it ends with X. Can't really say the name, but it's a phenomenal company, man. I mean, people think if you work in a grocery store, you don't make any money, but I'm an assistant manager. I do pretty good for a living. Um, I'm between me and my wife works for the same company, and she's a pharmacy technician. But it's a really good company. Stock options are phenomenal. I mean, it's a privately owned company. It's owned by the employees. It's not on the stock market. Our stocks are up to like $40 a share. Um, yeah, but we're me and my wife are doing pretty good. But I love my company. But that's what I do for a living. I was born in 1971. I've been collecting comics since I was in the 3rd grade, so roughly about 9 years old. So you can figure out 71. I'll be 44 this year. So I've been collecting comics a majority of my life. That's why I have such a big collection. I took a little bit of a break in the mid 90s to probably about 2000, and I bought a little bit, and then I took another little break. And recently, within the past few years, I've really gone full steam ahead, and I've gotten the bulk of my collection in that time. I look for deals on eBay. I don't really have a lot of local comic book stores. I know you would think in Florida that we would have like one on every street corner, but we really don't. So I go to Heroes Haven. There's a cheap plug, but I love them. They have an eBay store. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. I have 3 sisters. My father passed when I was 15. Yeah, but I work for a major company here in the southeast. It's a grocery company, really good company, growing every day, and I make a pretty good living. My wife does pretty good, so I have 1 daughter, and that's about it. So anyways, Manny, congratulations on your 50 plus subs. Great guy. Go check him out. And yeah, this is Junkie, and I'm out.